Everybody, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about pricing. So I get quite a few queries about how much does it cost to write a grant, how much do you charge? And the answer really is that, well, how long is a piece of string? So I'm sure you've heard me talk before about grants being of different sizes and complexity, and that's why. So you have grants that are only for a couple of $1,000s, and they might be a very simple fill out a form with very few selection criteria or assessment questions. And those assessment criteria are the questions that take more time. So the ones that you need to think about more in terms of your why and your how you're going to do what you're going to do. So those sorts of grants, you may not want to hire a grant writer because it wouldn't be worth the money. So what you may want to do in those situations is give it a go yourself. You could always send it to a grant writer to get them to do a review, or you could take up the offer of a grant help desk, which is a service that we do where you can pick up the phone, give us a call, and we just charge you for the time that you're on the call. And you can talk to us about, there's this one question, everything else is fine, but there's just one question I'm not really sure how to answer. This is the question, this is what I'm thinking of saying, what do you think? And we can run through with you and give you some tips, and you can take notes and jot down and develop your answer just quickly over the phone. So that would be a really small, smaller amount of grant, and it would be a really small, simple application form. Now grants go all the way up to millions and millions of dollars. So when it gets to the point where you're sort of asking for around about $100,000 or more, that's when you're going to need a business case. So it's not just a grant application form, it's a full business case. And business cases can range from $10,000, $15,000 to do, right up to, I've seen business cases costing hundreds of thousands of dollars because you have to do so much planning work in terms of design and getting all of the design drawings done, all that sort of stuff. So it really depends on how much money you're asking for and what they need from you when you're applying. Now, if they're asking for a business case, there can also be other factors involved there. You might, if you're building an infrastructure, you might need an asset management plan. You might need a cost-benefit analysis. Now, an asset management plan talks about how you're going to manage that asset. So how are you going to pay for it in the future? What's it going to cost? What's the income you're going to get? And making sure it's quite clear how you are going to pay for all the maintenance, the upgrade, the renewal that needs to be done. Every 5, 10, 15 years, you might need to replace a roof, for example. So that might be required. A cost-benefit analysis is when you're talking about looking at, it's a very economic thing, it's done by an economist. You're talking about looking at what the cost of the project is versus what the benefits are, and they have to be quantified. So you then come out with a ratio where it goes, well, for every dollar that you spend on the project, you're going to get $1.10 back or $2 back in benefits, because we've quantified the benefits that you're going to get from the project. So that's a very costly and time-consuming exercise that needs to be done as well. So you can't really ask how much does it cost to write a grant application until you know what the grant application is. If it's a very simple standard one, it's something you'll probably want to do yourself, and you might just want to get us to review it or just pick up the phone and give you some advice. If it's a sort of a medium-sized one, if you're looking for sort of 10,000 plus, it might be something that's worthwhile getting us to write, or it might be still something that you want to give it a go and do it yourself, which obviously will save you money, and then send it to us and we can review it and provide you with feedback so that you end up with a professional grant application without having to pay us to do the whole writing, which is obviously more expensive. When you start to get to 50, 70, 100,000 plus, then you're starting to talk about additional information being required either in the application or them asking for things to be attached to the application, like a business case or a project management plan or something like that. In those situations, you are going to have to pay to have the work done, unless you've done them a lot before. They are very unique things to do, and they are complicated. They take a lot of time, and they need to be done correctly. Otherwise, you'll leave the assessor with questions, and they will also look at you and think, if they're not able to write a business case in the way that we know business cases should be done, then perhaps they're not able to deliver the project. So that's where you need to start to think about, you're going to have to spend some money in order to get the money in. But that's when you're sort of talking the 100,000 plus if you're going to look for a business case. So I can't really answer the question, which is how much does it charge to draft a business case? But what I can do is say that we are more than welcoming if you want to give us a call, send us an email at any time and say, this is the particular grant that we're looking at. Can you please provide a quote? Or just tell us, look, this is what we're wanting to do. How do you think you could best help us? We will let you know. If we don't think it's going to be value for money for you to hire us at all, we will tell you. We are not in the business of trying to get you to cost you money. We are in the business of trying to get you money. So we want to make sure that you get as much money as possible. So give us a call and we can talk you through it anytime. Thanks very much. Bye.